Asymmetric information is where we look at information that differs from person to person. That's why it's asymmetric. It is not an environment of perfect information where everyone knows everything. Some markets have information held by some individuals that the rest of markets don't know. So the fear is if you're not one of those in the know with information, you may choose to not participate in the market itself. When people have better information than others, the information people have is called asymmetric information. There are two manifestations of this phenomenon. First, we call adverse selection, and a second we call moral hazard. And both are problematic. Let's start with adverse selection. Adverse selection refers to a situation where an individual has a hidden characteristic not seen by others, which leads to a selection process with a pool of individuals with undesirable characteristics, except you don't know it. So in this context, a hidden characteristic is something one party knows about itself that is not known by the other party. An example, maybe not a pleasurable example, you have bad teeth and you need a lot of dental work, and you sign up for dental insurance, right? You know you need dental work. The insurance company may not know. Therefore, that's adverse selection because you have a hidden characteristic which would tip the decision perhaps differently between you and the other party, in this case, the dental insurance company. Next is moral hazard. Moral hazard refers to a situation where one party can take hidden action that benefits him or her at the expense of the other party. In this case, it is not observed by the other party and therefore is hidden. One way to mitigate this is an incentive contract so that there is at least a disincentive for the undesirable behavior. An example here is you work for your boss, the boss is not there, and what do you do when you're alone? Do you shirk your responsibilities or do you work hard? You have moral hazard to not work hard. Cat's away, the mouse will play. Right? That is the example of moral hazard. Signaling is where there's an attempt by an informed party to send an indicator about his or her characteristics to an uninformed party. Signaling to be effective must have something where it's observable by the uninformed. Otherwise, if the signal is not seen, why bother? And the next is for that signal to be a reliable indicator so that the recipient of that signal can act upon it in the proper or desirable fashion. An example is professionals such as yourselves might put on your resume certifications, and those can be seen by executives, and those are verifiable objective indicators showing something they perhaps do not know about your skill set or the level of your professional qualifications. Screening is where, by virtue of information you put out, you avoid moral hazard by allowing the individual to self-select and screen themselves out. Self-selection is a mechanism where informed parties are presented with a set of options, and the options they choose review the hidden characteristics of that party. So first, let's say you specify minimum requirements for a job posting, and candidates look at it. Some stay in the process, some leave. So that process of self-selection is the effective screening. They have screened themselves out since they know they're not compliant with the requirements of that job.